5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. Let's dive in. This too shall pass. Happiness will pass. Sadness will pass. Hard times will pass. Good times will also pass. Nothing is forever because this too shall pass. It all passes. Friendships go through cycle. Love, hate, all of these things aren't fixed. They pass. We say things like life cycle. Things have a life cycle. Human beings have a life cycle. The weather has seasons and we have climates because things change. Nothing is truly fixed. So your hardships and where you are right now, even if you cannot see it, it too shall pass. We have to remind ourselves sometimes that what we are currently living is only a infinitesimal portion of the entirety of our lives. So we could either be fixed at the problem, I should say, we could either fixate on the problems that are before us and the challenges, or we can just move forward because the moment isn't forever. Sometimes we stop our growth because we don't know how to move on to the next thing. We stay stuck in the good thing that is, present or the bad thing that is present. And we don't try to evolve from the situation at large. Or maybe we don't know how to phrase that better or correctly. It all passes. Growth is painful, whether it's good or bad. I remember I heard someone say to me when I was younger, be careful what you wish for, or be careful what you pray for. Either or. We don't fully understand the depths of the things that we want to acquire or the situation or environment we want to be in when we make certain requests. For example, when someone says, I'm working on my patience, I want to be a more patient person. How would you become more patient unless you are tested? Your patience has to be tested in order for you to become a more patient person. Whether it be in the form of having kids, or learning to share a space with a significant other, or learning how to collaborate with those you work with. Patience, if that's the thing that you wish for, pray for, you're working on it, it's a challenge. And you only become more patient because, as I've said, your patience is tested. When you want to become stronger, the weights only get heavier, not lighter. So let's not stay stuck in the moment and the situation when we have the entirety of our lives to live, because it will all pass. And as time passes, eventually you get to a point where you either say, man, what have I done with my life? Or, oh my goodness, I am so proud of the life that I have lived and the person that I am. And that only occurs when you constantly try to or strive for evolution, the evolution of self. Marcus Garvey once said that when man masters himself, he masters his environment. And so many of us, we focus on all the things that are not us and try to make ourselves better that way. When the work has to be us, we have to put in the work to become better. We have to learn how to not only be critical of ourselves, but also pat ourselves on the back. Because if you want to say, hey, this too shall pass, guess what? Your body is the engine that gets you there. So if you're not taking care of yourself or working on yourself, you can't ever hope to progress forward. It's not an easy thing. So I don't want to minimize what it means to overcome adversity or to get up when you're suffering from depression or you're going through a period of mourning. The light in the tunnel may not be there. It may just be pitch black. And as I've said, yes, it's easy for anyone to say, hey, this too shall pass. Yes, it is easy for anyone to say that. People don't always see the work that you put in to get to where you need to be. But you are where you are, either due to the work that you're putting in or the work that you're not doing. And that's where you are. And you don't get to choose when your hard work pays off. The more you work on something, the higher the odds are that you will become successful at it. But again, the feeling of success, can plateau. Because as I've said, this too shall pass. And I don't mean to be repetitive, but repetition is how we learn. So I'm saying that this too shall pass because if you're successful, you can lose everything. And if you have nothing, you could also win everything. So we're kind of like the moon. We have phases. Sometimes we're a full moon. Sometimes we're a half moon. Sometimes we're a crescent moon, and so forth. Our friendships are the same way. Our love lives are the same way. And hey, all we can do is work to get to where we need to be. And while doing so, we are constantly working on ourselves, mentally, spiritually, physically. It's important for us to get back to working on ourselves. I think that a great percentage of mankind, we chase, material wealth, which is a great thing. I chase wealth too. That's why I work the way that I do. And I'm not going to tell anyone to not do that. However, in the pursuit of attempting to attain more, what is the cost? What is the toll that you must pay? Ponder that thought. Is the toll abandoning your family, missing important family events, not being there for your friends? What is the toll? What is the cost? How can you do things differently? Slow down and think about these things. I recently made a mistake. And my goal is to never present myself as this virtuous, perfect person. Because I'm not. I'm flawed and I have so many imperfections. I own them. One of the mistakes that I've made over the past 2 weeks is I just have not been slowing down. I've been grinding and just thinking that I'm progressing. And I strayed away from the things that have made me successful in the first place, which was patience. And because things were going so well, I kept just putting my foot on the gas, not analyzing my moves. And in the process, for the past 2 weeks, I've made, errors in judgment. I've miscalculated things. And I've disrupted the flow of how things are supposed to operate. And I own that because I was the one that didn't slow down. And I was counseled to slow down. So someone gave me some advice to slow down, but I just cared about the progress that I was making and the success that I was achieving, that I missed out on, a lot of little things that turned into big things. So I say this to say that, am I beating myself up about it? No. Did I at first? Absolutely. And it just goes to show that your intentions mean nothing. The outcomes are what truly matters. The results of the fruit of your labor are the things the things. I think things sounds excellent. Are the things that you will be judged by when it's all said and done. So I was having a great streak. Things were going great. I was doing a lot of things right, but I didn't slow down. I became impatient. And even though it didn't cost me a great deal, I still have to fix my miscalculations and make those adjustments. And that's not something that I've had to do before because I've always been patient. I exercised patience. I would always look before I leapt, as they say. So it is so difficult to give myself grace when I know that I messed up. It's easy for me to forgive the misgivings of others. It's hard for me to forgive myself because I hold myself to such a high standards. There's lots of things that morally and ethically I just won't ever do. And I think when things don't fall into the moral or ethical category and I make mistakes that are so easy to avoid and I don't avoid them when they do come up, it tears me apart in the moment. And yes, I need to go back to home base and navigate that so I don't make those mistakes again. But I would say that patience is the thing that often, many times, stunts my growth. And, I had to kind of do a reset, a healthy reset, so that I could say to myself, this too shall pass. So yes, I messed up, I own it, and this too shall pass. So same thing for you out there, whoever's listening. Don't get hung up on all the mistakes that you've made, because your mistakes are things that have happened. And at the end of the day, you have to get to the point where you love you accept your mistakes, no matter how terrible they are. You have to accept that they've happened, you've done them, and move forward. And you can't make other people forgive you if it was something that you offended someone. You can't make someone forgive you. You can't make someone accept your apology, but you can acknowledge to yourself that, hey, I messed up, but I'm going to move forward. That you can do. Hey, I forgive myself. That you can do. Hey, I love myself. That you can do. So get back to home base. And whatever crap you're going through, just remember, this too shall pass. I wanted to make this very poignant, and hopefully this episode, resonates with you. And know that in your darkest moments, whatever they may be, whether it's depression, whether it's heartbreak, whether it's you feel stuck, or loneliness, whatever it is, this too shall pass. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and subscribe for more. Be free.